Hey guys, namaste. Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. So my model has a little irritation in her eyes. So we are going to be applying a thin layer of serum. So I've directly started with the makeup today, not letting you guys know what the makeup looks like. So you guys might have already seen it on the thumbnail. It's a proper traditional South Indian makeup look. So I've added a little bit of moisturizer and illuminating highlighter. I'm using a flat brush to apply all of these things. So I've thoroughly cleansed her face before, starting with the makeup. And I've added a little bit of rose water mist onto her face just to give that extra brightness and hydration. Here I'm using a peach color corrector onto her problematic areas to cover them up. So in this video I'm showing you guys a little different way of color correction. So I'm just gonna be using it on the problematic areas to just bring them into a neutral base. So I'm using a brush here, a blending brush, and blending all of the color correction thoroughly. I'm using a shade that is almost nearer to her skin color and just gonna neutralize all the color correction that we have already done. So always be gentle when you're using a brush, as the skin can get damaged if you drag or do it very harshly. I'm using setting spray onto a damp beauty blender to just blend all of these things in to give them a airbrush finish. So here I'm going to be using a thin layer of foundation onto her coverage, matte foundation, anything that you prefer. But for today's makeup look, I'm going to be using a thin layer of medium to buildable coverage foundation. This is by the brand called Inside Cosmetics. It's a waterproof foundation. So I'm going to be using a thin layer because I want a dewy base for the bride. So this is what I usually do. You do not need expensive products to make the makeup work. I'm using a little bit of setting spray mist in between just to blend it all together thoroughly. You can see she have a even tone base right now. And for the blush, I'm going to be using lip and cheek tint in the shade Mauve Along by the brand called Plum. This is one of my favorite lip and cheek tints. So since it's a South Indian makeup look, we don't really prefer a heavy makeup. That's why I'm going to be using lip and cheek tint. And to build this up, I'm going to use a pink lipstick that matches her under complexion really well. Who doesn't like a good amount of blush? So to brighten the under eyes, I'm using Swiss Beauty concealer that is very bright than her face, natural complexion, and just gonna blend it. I'm just gonna add it under in the under eye area as well as the T-zone. This is the technique of highlighting the base makeup that you have done. So I'm gonna use a setting powder. It's a loose powder, and just gonna gently add a little bit of setting spray. So for the eyes, I'm gonna be using the same lip and cheek tint that I worked on, and just gonna add it on to my eyes. So you can use a flat brush and apply a cream base. This is what I do when I don't have any time left. This is a hero palette of mine. It's a very affordable drugstore palette. I'm going to use a peachy shade and just set the cheek tint that I have added. It's a Swiss Beauty palette. I'm just going to be using this palette today. I'm taking a dark brown eyeshadow color and just gonna tight line the water line and just gonna give a little bit of wing. So this is one beautiful makeup technique. It's not very smoky, it's not very sultry, it comes down in a between. So I'm using a fluffy brush and just blending all of these things together. You can already see her eyes look so beautiful. I'm just gonna add in a little bit of golden frost on top of my eyes. Her eyes have a good almond shape, and this particular frost looks really good. So today I'm going to be using an eyebrow pomade to fill in her eyebrows. This is actually a brown gel liner that I'm using in the form of eyebrow pomade. As I told you, it's all about a texture and the formulations. You can use whatever for whatever that you want to do. So I'm going to build this up using a powdered eyeshadow. So I'm gonna define her brows really well and give her a thick eyebrows, as that goes really well with this particular makeup look. So I'm gonna tight line her eyes and do a little bit of wing, a very little wing, using a regular normal liquid eyeliner. You can see how eyeliner brought extra definition onto her eyes. Here I'm using an angular brush to give her that beautiful eyeliner. So now I'm going to be taking a thin tipped eyeliner brush from Vega and drawing a little bit of wing to her outer corners. You can see the eye makeup, it just steals the show as soon as you enter. So I've used a little bit of setting spray. So today I'm not going to be contouring much. I'm just going to use bronzer. Usually South Indian makeups are a day event. So bronzing your face looks more beautiful than contouring your face, depending upon your face features. My model has a really good face feature. She have a very slim face. So here I'm going to be using a compact powder to set her entire face. And use as much as setting spray as you want, because the bride is going to stay in front of all the lights and everything for a longer time. Blend all the patchy areas. I'm using Swiss Beauty lip liner in the shade Cherry Red and just lining her lips really well. I'm gonna go in with traditional red lips for this particular makeup look. So for the lipstick, I am going to be using My Glam lipstick because I love the formulation of it. It's not very red, very bold red, or neither pink. It comes down to mix of both of those shades. This kind of shades is what complements South Indian skin tone. So this is like a very quick and easy makeup look that you can do it in max to max 15 minutes. So I'm going to just highlight her cupid bows a little bit. So to pull this all together, I've added a little bit of clear gloss. Gloss is very personal opinion. If you don't like gloss, you need not put it in. So I'm going to correct her lips using a lip liner again. So here there is a little bit of mistake in drawing the line. So I'm using a little bit of concealer and just going to blend this in together. So for the under eyes, I'm going to be using the same dark brown shade that we took for the outer corner of the eyes. And just gonna blend it really well. So the brown that you used to create the wing, so that's the brown you need to take. And here comes my signature style of putting green color kajal. Green color kajal, in my opinion, looks really good in very traditional looks. Look at her eyes. I am totally obsessed with her eyes and the makeup that I've created onto her eyes. So I'm going to be applying a little bit of highlighter. This is by the brand Swiss Beauty again. So as I told, I'm using all the affordable products. So this is one amongst them. This palette is the only blush and highlighter palette that I have because I love the pigment of it. Here I'm using Mars Sealant setting spray to set her makeup. So now comes a beautiful part, that is eyelashes. I'm using a very simple yet very elongated lashes onto her eyes. Because it's a day event, I like to keep it very feathery yet very natural. So I've let this dry. I've used Euro Girl glue. So here I'm going to be using a long bindi. Yeah, the bindi is a little cross, which I'm going to be making it proper in the upcoming few seconds. And this is a white chand. You can also use white face paint, but chand is something that we use in South India to draw that V thing. So there is a particular type of bindi in South Indian makeup look. Some people use round, some people use long, and some people also use something called Kalyana Tilakam. So I'm gonna again highlight. You can see her reaction as soon as the makeup got ended. She totally loved it. So this is our final look. I hope you guys liked it. So until next time, stay tuned. Take care. Bye bye. Love you guys.